Guys, this is Eric from Freshline Moto Club, one of the co-founders here, and I'm working through some FAQs. FAQ on this video is going to be, so you guys see your club, what does that mean? There's a number of elements that I can't just show you, but I'm going to try and do my best to explain what it means to be part of Freshline as part of the community, as part of the brotherhood, and what's involved in that. So what you're seeing right now is the backend member portal. You're seeing it on my computer screen, but you can download this, and we all have it as an app as well. And in here, there's a number of different channels. There's only so much that I can show you without getting too deep into it. But there's going to be a general chat, so any of the Freshline members can come in here and do a general chat about whatever they want, anything in the world. So you can jump into that. There's member discount codes. Can't show you that channel because you got to be part of the club for that. But you do get you get discount codes on gear, apparel, moto accessories, things like that. Partnerships that we've got through sponsorship. So if you're a member, you get those sponsorship codes. Fitness motivation. So this is as it states, just getting in here, holding some accountability to fitness and where you're at, fitness challenges, questions about fitness, workouts and stuff are posted in here. So just going through here and keeping each other accountable that way. Moto repair and rebuild. It is as it states. It's just questions about moto. Member resources. This is just any questions members might have about refund policy, trip transfer cancellations, packing list, that kind of thing. Gear recommendations and reviews. Again, kind of like it sounds. Going through here asking about what's the best gear that we're using for these remote expeditions, and how does gear hold up in some of these different environments, from smoking heat to freezing conditions. Member value offers is pretty cool. This is where you can, as a Freshline member, you're encouraged to come in here and say, hey, if I have anything to offer to other members, you throw it in here, and members basically help each other out. That could be in services. Here's tax services, for instance. A lot of this is going to be homestays. So hey, if you want to come to my place, and these are going to be all around the world. If you want to come stay with me, here's a place to come stay. So member offers that way. It could be a combination of both. You've got guys that are in here that are offering sort of remodeling, general construction advice. Like, it could be anything, fitness, mountain biking, etc. So rolling through that, goals, commitments, accountabilities, very similar to fitness and motivation. It's just a little bit more general in terms of, here we've got a sugar challenge going this quarter, so off sugar for the quarter. My goal is to, lose weight in this, blah, blah, blah. So looking at that. And then Freshline leaders, assistant leaders, if you make it to that point in the club, I'm not going to open up that channel, but that's where the discussions go on for anybody that's made it into leadership. There's also regional groups, so depending on where you're at in the world, different chats going on. So if you're in Europe, for instance, as a member, looking at connecting there and what that looks like. So going through that, you've got the actual expeditions themselves. Actually, sorry. On that note of finding members around you, at any point, if you're a member, you can go to members and you can find near you, and it will lay out which members are near you, where they are, so that you can connect with any of the members that are around, and it'll just kind of in order go through the members based on proximity to yourself. So you can reach out to members for local meetups, go for a beer, go for a ride, whatever. And then getting into the actual expeditions and boot camps themselves. So if you're signed up for a boot camp, you can go into a boot camp channel. And in that boot camp, there's going to be boot camp resources. So you've got the boot camp brief, boot camp prep, boot camp packing lists, video on the packing list, boot camp documentary. This is basically an hour-long documentary going through boot camp and what you can expect there from some of the early boot camp experience of the guys. And then boot camp dates, just figuring out, again, when the boot camp dates are. So you can book your flights. Then there's also the chat, so asking any questions in here. And these are all monitored by PD, who's the head of African operations, and the guy that is also head of boot camp. And so any boot camp related questions will be in here. Briefing calls for boot camp, briefing calls for any expedition are going to be in these either expedition or boot camp channels if it's upcoming. And I don't know if there are any here because this one is probably done. But a few months before, there's going to be scheduled briefing calls where everyone that's involved in the boot camp will jump on there. And then, of course, there's the guys that are in the boot camp with you, and you can interact with those guys at any time, doing a private message to them, and or chatting openly on the chat here, just open question to any of the guys. A lot of guys will arrange flights and stuff together, or before and after boot camp might arrange to hang out. So that's a factor there as well. And then basically the same thing for any of these expeditions. You can go in here and you're going to have the briefings, resources for that expedition, the members that are a part of that expedition, and yeah, you're able to jump in here and communicate back and forth that way. And then past that, there's a few other minor points in this portal, which probably not super relevant to you on the video right now. It's more relevant once you get into the club. Outside of the portal itself, one thing, actually, I guess you could show it in here, is the events. So right now it's winter. It's going to look pretty blank because this is only going to show upcoming events. But winter for us, so therefore not a lot of local rides happening. If this was the summer, you'd see this kind of blown up with a lot of invites to local rides. Right now, primarily in here are the meeting calls that we've got. So running these member huddles, we do that once every 2 weeks, and we do it in 2 different time zones. We'll do it in a time zone. Well, I should say we do it at noon and 7:30 Pacific, and then that is to meet the needs of guys around the world, because we have guys from all over that are attending these calls, from Europe to Australia to South America to obviously North America. And so we meet, and on those calls, we're generally discussing club news, as well as we're doing small group check-ins with the guys. So spending more time with each other in a little bit more of a close-knit environment. We'll discuss challenges we're facing. We'll discuss goals we've got, accountabilities, things like that in those member calls as well. And then on top of all of this is just the general camaraderie that comes with the club, which is getting invited to local rides. Guys all the time will ride together, and just maybe it's just groups of 2, but they'll say, hey, I'm swinging through this city or this town. Who's around? Who wants to go out? Who wants to go for a ride? Who wants to just hang out for a beer, go for breakfast, whatever that looks like. And that happens on a global scale. And so that's pretty cool to see as well. That often will happen within the regional groups, those questions. But a lot of it happens where we're not going to see it, because that happens just member to member in the personal chats. And it's just getting support. Like when guys are going through hard stuff, it's us rallying around those individuals, whether that's a GoFundMe or whether that's giving them or getting them resources that they need to tackle a challenge in their life, or maybe a business challenge or a project or whatever it is. That's really what this club is built on, is the community, the brotherhood. It is not really, once you get in, you realize it's actually not really about riding motorcycles. It has a lot more to do with the community, the tight-knit community of guys that we're building here. So that is in part what it means to be in the club. Beyond that, you could get into some of the stuff that's a little more flashy, and I would say probably not as important in my mind. Not important, but not as important, which is looking at getting into leadership positions and being part of the community that way, both leading expeditions as well as leading within community groups, and what that looks like. Other pieces to this, which I don't know, I should have pulled up a picture just to show you guys, but part of this is getting personalized swag. So every time you go to a boot camp or an expedition, you're getting jerseys, sometimes jackets that got your personal name on them. You're getting bags with your name on them. You're getting tags with your name on them. So it becomes very personalized once you get into membership, once you make it past boot camp and through the assessment and all of that. So that's the other piece too. What does it mean to be part of a club? Well, you're going through assessment. I don't have the boot camp page up here, but you're going to boot camp, you're being assessed, and therefore once you enter into Freshline membership that those individuals have been vetted not exclusively for riding skill, but more importantly for their character traits, their attitude, how they tackle life, how they show up to help other people and care about the other members of the community. So that's another big factor as well that sets us a little bit apart from really any other organization that we're aware of. So that's what it means to be part of Freshline. I'm sure because sometimes because I've been here too long, there's probably a number of things that I'm missing, but those are some of the key elements that are related to membership in the club.